welcome to my channel. Happy New Year 2025. We're going to have a great year. We're going to do a little bit of changing, at least that's what I'm hoping. I'm not going to make any kind of resolutions, but I do want to try to get some things going and try to stay consistent with things and hopefully get some YouTube videos up and some tutorials up for some things that I'm trying to accomplish. And I wanted to share that with you. I am a teacher by trade, so a lot of this stuff that I do, or a lot of the things that I do for my YouTube channel, I have to do on the weekends or in the afternoons after work. And so my day is over. I am beginning to, I have got to run in, I'm in my office and in my sewing room, and I have to run in a few minutes and check on things, but I wanted to welcome everybody and give you a little bit of a heads up about what I'm going to do. I was in a lot of Facebook groups a couple of years ago when I first started my channel, and I saw that there were a lot of questions about how do you start cross stitch, or how do you start embroidery, how do you start crochet. Now, I'm not very good at crocheting, so I can't answer those questions. But the main one was rug punching and punch needle. I have to tell you how I got into rug punching. It's a long story, but I'll just try to shorten it up for you. It was before the pandemic. I was friends with this lady on Facebook, and she was going to have a conference seminar, like get together with not rug punchers, but rug hookers. And I was following her, and I was looking at all of these rugs, and I thought, this is really something that I would like to try to do. Had no idea how to even get started. So on a whim, I decided that I was going to go to Louisiana. I was going to get in the car and I was going to go to Louisiana. I was going to go to this workshop that she was having. It was at one of the antebellum homes, and so I was thinking, wow, this would be a really nice weekend for me. I can go, my husband will stay home, and I'll just go by myself. So I hopped in the car, grabbed one little box of stuff of wool applique. That's the only thing that I had. I figured that if I got over there and didn't have anything to do or didn't understand the rug punching and the rug hooking and all of that, that I could at least applique and not waste my time. So I had my little box. I mean, it was just a little box that I took with me. So here I go over to Louisiana. Oh my gosh, I got in there, and we were supposed to check in that night, or that afternoon. So I got over there and I went to the place we were checking in, and these ladies were all in line, and they had, oh my gosh, carts of stuff, carts of wool, these things that they had to have for rug hooking, the frames, all of this stuff. And I thought, holy cow, what have I got myself into? Because I have no idea how to do this. And I thought, well, I'm going to go in there anyway. So I was I was in a growth mindset right then, because I was thinking, I need to turn around and go home. But no, I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I had paid for it. I was going in, but I had no idea what I was doing, and I had no idea what to expect. So it was kind of like a long weekend, but really, when I got in there, I asked some ladies if I could sit at their table. They were very nice, but they just had all of their stuff all laid out, and I had no idea what they were doing. They had already started in. I mean, I guess these people go in and they all go to these rug hooking workshops, and they all meet each other, and they've been going to these things. So all of these people knew each other. I was by myself. I had no idea what I was doing. I know I keep saying that, but it's crazy. So I sat down and I started watching, and I thought, well, I need to pull something out. So I pulled out my wool applique, and I started doing that, and a lady looked over at me. She said, well, that's really cool. What is that? And I said, well, it's wool applique, and all of that. And she says, well, gosh, I don't know how to do that. And I thought, oh, well, that's kind of interesting, because I just felt like everybody knew what they were doing on everything. But when I showed her that I was doing something different than what she was doing, and she didn't know how to do it, I thought, well, maybe this is going to turn out okay. So as they started asking me questions, then I turned around and said, well, okay, so I don't understand this. Tell me what this is, and this is. So they were very, very nice. All of these ladies were very nice, and they were helping me, with all of the terminology of rug hooking, all of the different tools. Oh my gosh, there were so many different tools. And I got to thinking, wow, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because this looks expensive. Um, Even that, the little, I don't know what they're called, the thing that you cut the fabric with to make these little strips. I mean, they were telling me how much all of this stuff was, and I thought, holy cow, I wasn't expecting to spend that kind of money on a new craft. I had already started quilting a couple of years before that, and I invested a lot of money in quilting and things. Was getting really good at that, but and then I wanted to try something else. But I don't know. I didn't think that I could justify putting hundreds of dollars into a new craft if I wasn't sure that I was going to like it. So I thought, maybe this isn't a good thing. So as the weekend went on, and the reason I'm telling you this is because I was changing. I was changing my attitude about things. I was going from a closed mindset to an open mindset. I was leaving my mind open for new things. As I got there on Friday, and then on Saturday it got better and got better and got better, and I went to these little workshops, but the ones that you don't even have to really go to a workshop. You just sit next to your neighbor and start learning and all of that, and I thought, wow, this is really nice, but again, I wasn't sure I wanted to invest the time and the money. Then I went to one of the vendors, and they had an Oxford rug punch needle, number 10, regular number 10. And I thought, well, let me see what that's all about. So I went over to another vendor, and she told me she had some patterns and stuff on rug punching, but she didn't have any hooks and any of the needles. And I said, well, this other vendor has a needle, but I don't know how to do it. She said, you go buy the needle and then come back over here. I'll give you some yarn and I'll show you how to do it. And then all you got to do is get your husband to make a little frame. And I said, okay, that sounds cool. So I went back over to the other vendor, bought my Oxford, regular 10, and I thought, well, I can afford this. It was like $40 because I bought the one with a box and all, and it was about $40. And I thought, well, I can handle that. And you don't have to have all of the machines and all of the stuff to cut rugs. I mean, to cut fabric with, because I only had to use yarn. So I went back over, and she had a small skein of yarn, not even a skein, just a ball of yarn. And in 10 minutes, she showed me how to punch. Now, I'm not saying that that's all you have to do. There's a lot more to it, a lot more expense. But the thing is if you're cognizant of what you do, and you get online to YouTube or these other places, take some videos, take some classes, and learn how to do it, it really is a really fun craft. I did the rug punching because I could use yarn, I could use one tool, and I could use an embroider hoop. And that's all I needed. And I could get started. So the lady that I bought the rug punch with, I went over to her and I said, well, she had all these patterns that she had drawn and that she had designed. And I said, can I use those for rug punching? And she said, oh yeah, a lot of people do. And it was drawn on linen. It wasn't drawn on monk's cloth. And there are a lot of people. I rug punch on linen now. I rug punch on monk's cloth. I rug punch on this fabric that I can get from this vendor that I usually use, and I'll show those at some other time. But there are certain things that you can do. You can even rug punch on wool. And so I thought, well, I'm going to learn how to do this. I bought that little pattern from her. I went home. That was a Saturday afternoon, early Sunday, and it was time to leave. So I bought the little pattern. It was $25, and I said, okay, I've only spent $25 on that, and $40 on my rug punch, and so I was good to go. Now, like I said, I already had an embroidery hoop, and the embroidery hoop that you have to use for rug punch, it has to be a locking one. So I already had that because I had started needle punch a couple of years before that. So needle punch and rug punch are basically the same thing, except needle punch, it's very small projects. Rug punch, you can make rugs, you can make all kinds of wall hangings, you can make pillows, you can make all different kinds of things. And so that's what I did. I started that, and I came home and I learned a new craft. Now, why am I telling you this? It's the beginning of a new year, and I don't make New Year's resolutions anymore. I quit doing that. But I really think that if you go in and you start at the new year and you say, well, I'm going to learn something new this year. If it's just one thing, and really learn it and really get with it and do the best you can, then you have accomplished something, and you've gotten out of the closed mindset, and you've gotten into you've gotten into, I can't even think of it, a growth mindset. And that's what you need. That's what you need to keep doing. Keep having a growth mindset. Don't have a closed mindset, because then you're just kind of stuck. You get in a rut. And that's what I want you to learn. Okay. And now that I've talked about rug punching and needle punch and all of that, another thing I started out with at the very beginning was I was talking about wool applique. Now, when I started quilting, I don't know, probably 8 years ago, I fell in love with applique, but I'm just, I have no patience. And so the needle turn, I think that's what it's called, needle turn applique, where you have to fold under the fabric and all of that. Oh my gosh, I don't have the patience for that. But for wool applique, oh my goodness, I found something that I absolutely, absolutely love. So out of all of the things that I like to do, I think wool applique is probably at the top, and then it goes down. But they all are just parts of my being, and that's why I went ahead and opened up an Etsy store, and that's why I have a website, because I wanted the things that I was having trouble with was I was having trouble finding wool. I was having trouble finding the kinds of threads that I wanted. I was having trouble finding the tools that I wanted. So I decided, well, you know what? If I'm having this much trouble, everybody else has got to have this much trouble. Now, I'm not using this as a selling thing. You can do that if you want to. You can go to my website if you want to. I'll put it in the link below. But that's not why I'm telling you this. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to know that all of the stuff that I'm talking about, I started this after I was 50. I mean, I started quilting when I was 50. And then all these other 20 some odd years, so that kind of tells you where I'm at, I've learned a whole heck of a lot. Now, my grandmother taught me how to sew years and years and years and years ago. And that's all I did. That's all I did until I decided I want to start quilting. And I have some other stories about quilting that I'll share with you later. I don't want to get it all bogged down now, but I do want to show you a little bit of wool applique. Now, this one here, let's see if I can show it to you. This one here is one of my designs. And I came up with it just, I like to go in and I like to draw. And so I thought, well, this is kind of cool to do something with autumn, spring, winter, and summer, the 4 seasons. Guess what season I got? I started on season 1, which was autumn, and that's as far as I got. So my open mindset to a new thing this year is to get my other 3 seasons done. So I'm starting on my spring one in just a few days. But because Valentine's Day is coming up, I wanted to show you another one that I came up with. And this one has, let's see if I can, here we go. This is one of my favorite. My cup overflows. It is such, it was really easy, but, well, when I say it was really easy, it was easy for me, But when I went to that workshop, and a lot of these ladies were saying, well, I don't understand how you are stitching that. And I was using the blanket stitch and the French knot, and that's all I was using. So I got to thinking, well, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should do a couple of tutorials on how to do wool applique, and how to do rug punch, and how to do quilting, how to do the different things that I know how to do. My grandmother taught me at the very beginning, and after she passed on, I really didn't have anybody to teach me anything until I got to YouTube. That's where I started learning everything. And then I started going to some of these places and learning how to do this from other people. But I found one thing, and I'm hoping you don't feel this way. But one of the things that I felt like was that I was always comparing myself to everybody else. And that's a bad thing. Don't compare yourself. And, I should learn what I'm saying. I should take my own advice and not compare myself. But what I did learn, what I have learned over the years is that, you don't have to worry about what other people think. Only about what you think and how you like what you're doing and how you do things. You might find something else, a different stitch that you like to use, or a different color that you like to use. You might, if you can tell, I like a lot of muted colors. That's what I like. I don't like bright colors. But I have friends who they love these really bright colors. And when I would show them my work, they would say, oh, well, that's okay, but I don't like those colors, And I was thinking, well, golly, it made me feel bad. And then I got to thinking, well, to each his own, God made this beautiful world for us, for everybody to be different. And, if they like the bright colors, then make yourself one with bright colors. I like the muted colors, so that's what I like. That's what my house is like. And that's what my, my decor is like. So it's what everybody likes. It's what you like, not what everybody else likes. Now, and granted, you want opinions. You want somebody to say, you ask somebody their opinion. Well, go ahead and ask somebody their opinion, but don't get upset if you don't like their opinion. But then say, oh, well, yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I think I want to go back to the way I was doing it, So I don't want you to be hard on yourself, because that's the number one thing as a teacher. I find that a lot of my students are hard on themselves because they're worried about what everybody else is going to think. They're worried about what I'm going to think. I'm a math teacher, so, it's really hard for them, because they'll say, well, if I don't do it your way, I won't get it right. And I said, no, that's not right. That's not the way I teach. If you can get it, if you can go around the world and get your answer the same way that somebody else can get it without doing, all of these steps, you do a few steps and everything is fine, and they get the answer, and then you go another way and you find the answer. Well, hey, in the long run, the outcome is you all both got the same answer. So what I'm saying to you is that it doesn't matter how you do things. It doesn't matter how I do things. It's the end product. It's the outcome that is the best thing. So on your takeaway from this video, I want you to change. I want you to have an open mindset, do something new. Check out some more of my videos when I get them up. And not just mine. Go on YouTube and find find a craft that you like. If you're going to do punch needle, if you're going to do wool applique. Now, there's not as many on wool applique as I thought. I had to learn a lot of that on my own. It might be because, I live in Florida, and you can't find wool here anywhere. So I have to either buy my wool and bring it here and dye it, buy my wool yarn and bring it in here and dye it. And I have to do a lot of things because of where I live. So online shops and things like that, they are my cup of tea, because we don't have anything here. It's just, unless it's beachy, it's hard to find. There are a couple of that are in South Florida, but I'm 10 hours from South Florida. I'm in Northwest Florida. So, I can't just get in the car and go. So I've got to go in and I've got to buy online. Um, I guess that's all I wanted to say. I know I'm babbling again, and I'm probably going to edit a lot of this stuff out, but I just wanted to say Happy New Year. I'm so glad you're here, and I want you to continue coming because I'm going to have so many fun things to do, and I'm going to be learning some new things. I've already found something on Pinterest last night that I want to learn how to do, and I'll probably do it with you. I have never ever done needlework on cardboard. Now, what's that all about? And I saw it on Pinterest last night and I said, okay, well, that's something that I need to learn this year. So just remember, you're never too old to learn. If you keep learning, everything will be cool. Your days will go, you will have something to do. And then all you have to do is just, think about where am I going to be with it tomorrow? Am I going to be finished so I can start something new? That's all we got to do. That's all we have to worry about. Listen, y'all have a great day, and hopefully you can check some more of my videos. Oh, and I remember I'm supposed to tell you to subscribe and to like and to comment. Here's my question for you. In the comment section, tell me something that you have been wanting to learn how to do, but you had no idea where to even start. And if I can't help you, by gosh, I'll find somebody that can. Have a great day, and y'all have a good one, okay? Bye.